Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is MrYorkiesWorld. We are currently here at a rainy Frankfurt today in the Lufthansa livery of the Boeing 747 by PMDG. We are going to be travelling today from EDDF, which is over here at Frankfurt, all the way to OMDB, Dubai, on a 6 hour and 4 minute flight time approximately. You can see that we are surrounded by other aircraft in the Lufthansa livery. I don't know what the hell's happening to the gate. For some reason it's disappearing. But there we go. Nevertheless, apologies about the time that it's taken to get this video up. I have been incredibly busy with various things going on in life. But here we go. So anyway, as I said, we're at gate B20 here at Frankfurt. We're going to be travelling to Dubai. We're going to go ahead straight away and open some doors for GSX. For some reason the bug no longer happens where the door is open but it still asks you to open it, so that's good. You will have to bear with me, I've got a terrible voice today. Nevertheless, we're going to go into fuel, and today we're going to be taking 164,624 pounds of fuel, which is quite the large quantity, but that's what we need to get us all the way over there to Dubai. Going to go ahead and just make sure the doors page is open on the second FMC. We might as well go ahead and switch on the IRSs to nav, or align them to nav. And we can switch on the nav light itself. Been quite a while since I've done a 747 video, so do bear with me. Auto brakes are set to RTO, and I've set the passenger signs everything early, I know that. The altimeter we've also set. And we can go ahead now and program in to the FMC. So, EDDF, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot, is where we are at the moment. We are at gate B20. I am literally just going to take the gate position and use that as our IRS position. I know that's not what you should do, but there we go. We've got a route set up. There we go, EDDF to OMDB. It's actually been a while since I've flown into Dubai. I don't know whether I've currently got any videos on the channel of me doing that. I think there might have been some of the older videos that are no longer on the channel, but nevertheless, it's okay. Open the doors for GSX just to get some catering on the go. We can load the uplinks for Route 1, which is the only route. And that is essentially it. We are just waiting now for catering to get started, which it is doing, as you can see. And we might as well put the flight number in, which is DLH630 for today. Stick that into the flight number, and we're going to request which runway we're actually going to be using in just a second from ATC. So let's just switch over frequencies, and we can request that now. So request clearance.
Delivery, Lufthansa 630 with the 80 request clearance.
Lufthansa 630. Roger, runway 25 cleared to OMDB via DKB8 Foxtrot departure ending as filed. Climb and maintain flight level 60. Expect flight level 350 within 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.15. Squawk 5061. QNH 1017.
Cleared via Delta Kilo Bravo 8 Foxtrot, climb to flight level 60. Expect flight level.
Just going to put the departure runway into the FMC.
Departure frequency 120.
There we are. Activate and execute.
061. Lufthansa 630.
Perfect.
630. Read back correct. Contact
Zero fuel weight is 493 today. And again, the flight level is 350. I just had to check that. So 350 on the altitude. Reserves for today, we're actually going to be taking 10 tons. And the cost index for Lufthansa with the Boeing 747 is 70, I believe. Thrust limit. I don't really know what Lufthansa uses, so I'm just going to go with a minus 5%. Flaps 20. And GSX is asking us to close the door, so we'll do that. We can work out our V speeds. V2 is 157. Stick that into the FMC, or the MCP, should I say. VORs, traffic and data, and the flight director, and we'll do the same on the other side. Right, so we can request boarding now. We do need to wait while the other services just complete. We have got a new GSX sound pack as well. You'll probably realise that once we get moving. We're going to be using the DKB-8F SID or departure for runway 25 centre. So if we just find that, there we go. Execute that. And if we go onto the legs page, you can see that we've got quite a long route ahead of us. We're going to have to go through that route and just make a tiny little change along the way. There's a certain waypoint that sends us off into the middle of nowhere, and it's a huge waste of fuel, so we're going to have to get rid of that. So go to the plan page, and if we just zoom out a little bit, go through the route here, you'll be able to see it in a second. There it is. Hang on. It is the SME waypoint that we need to get rid of. So we'll just do that, execute it, and we've basically saved ourselves a ton of fuel and time. The rest of it should be fine. There shouldn't be any reason why the rest of the route has any issues. The last time I checked, that was the only discontinuity, or it's not even discontinuity, but that's the only problem that we had on the route. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that's all fine. So, with that said, we can wait while the passengers board and everything. You can hear it slightly different on the sounds. L11 VNAV can be armed. And we can switch on the APU now, or start the APU. Pack 1 can come on. Fuel pumps. And what else? I think that's about it, to be honest. We are literally just going to have to wait while the passengers are fully boarded. And then obviously the baggage will take priority. Go to the fuel page, just make sure we have got fuel in the left and fuel in the right. And there's none in the centre, so that's fine. And from there, we are just waiting for the cargo doors to open. There we go. And that's it. It's basically just a case now of waiting until the passengers, or their baggage, should I say, has been fully boarded onto the aircraft. And we should be out of here pretty rapidly, to be quite frank. Anyways, I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alright, so there we go, the baggage has been successfully boarded now. We can go ahead and close the cargo doors along with the rest of the doors, if we've got any that's open, which we have. Get those closed. Just waiting for the cargo to close again. It's very, very slow in its movements, which is explainable by the fact that it's such a large aircraft. But nonetheless, APU gens have become available. Jetway is being disconnected, which is what we want. Oops, wrong view. I need to correct that on EasyDock, actually. The rest of the hydraulics I'm just going to turn on now. The fourth hydraulic is still on aux, and the packs have just been switched on, but I need to switch them off for now until the engines are started. Beacon light can come on. We can bring up the engine page, ready for pushback and everything. Ground connections, we can remove them. And we can request pushback and start.
Request start up and pushback.
Lufthansa 630. Start up and pushback approved.
Approved. Lufthansa 630.
Excellent. So, I've got a feeling, yep, we're going to require the de-icing treatment. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And when it tells you to actually not start the engines until after pushback, I'm just going to start them during pushback anyway, because we're going to do the de-icing treatment, so it's fine. Current active weather, wind is 200 at 13 knots and the temperature's 1 degree, so it's not majorly cold, but there is still a chance that icing could happen, so hence the reason GSX has warned me of that. We have got numerous warnings there. That's not a problem either, we know why they are. Engines aren't started or anything like that, so nothing to worry about. We're just waiting for this de-icing truck, or 2 de-icing trucks to arrive. We should be able to see them. Nope, not behind the aircraft. If we look over the aircraft though, there's an aircraft either taking off, going around. It's certainly not landing. It's a bit foggy as well today. There are the trucks. And if you listen carefully once they arrive, you'll be able to hear the new GSX sound pack. I do still have the MrYorkiesWorld sound pack. If anybody's interested in downloading that, I can give you a link. It's not complete like this one is, but I suppose I can work on that at some point in the future. Nevertheless, the trucks are coming into play, and you will be able to hear the new set of voices. And the pack itself was actually made by somebody called Nick Kidd. If anybody wants a link to it, just let me know and I can give you one, that's no problem at all. It's quite a good sound pack, I'll let you listen.
Hello Captain, ensure parking brakes are set please. Confirm aircraft is ready to accept the icing treatment.
Okay, so fluid type 1 we're going to use because I've no idea what fluid type to use.
Anti-icing code is 1. I'll call you back when de-icing procedure is complete.
Okay, there we go. So it's actually a lot more interesting to listen to stuff like that than it is the generic sound that comes from GSX when you first install it. So I was sort of looking for a decent pack I could download, and we managed to find one. So there we go. And here's the de-icing starting. It is a bit of an annoyance in the simulator, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I believe the 747 has automatic de-icing as well, so we shouldn't have to be clicking anything or activating anything. It should automatically do that on its own, if needed. Love how I've got the Frankfurt Airport trucks as well. Everything is Frankfurt Airport.
1006, taxi via Lima to runway 25.
Via Lima to runway 1006.
Another aircraft there, taking off. In fact, no, that's... Are they landing? No? I don't know, I've no idea. Possibly, possibly not. But the mixture of Pro ATCX and the new GSX sound pack, along with everything else in the sim, the Ultimate Traffic Live and everything, is absolutely fantastic. It's just so immersive. And as you can see, another one there, taking off. Frankfurt Airport is absolutely swamped with aircraft, and that's all thanks to Pro ATCX and Ultimate Traffic Live that we can have this immersive experience. I am fully aware that all of the aircraft liveries might not be up to date. I don't know whether that one in front of us there, or to the right as there, Star Alliance, is real or not, or up to date, but I'm not too fussed about updating them, to be honest. It just adds immersion to me. I'm not too picky about specific liveries. You can see that the de-icing is almost complete now. And while that's doing that, we can just make sure there's no lights that shouldn't be on, which there isn't. We're all fine. And there we go, the de-icing is now complete. Again, the pack for GSX that I'm using now, it involves all these sounds, like the de-icing sounds and stuff like that, whereas my pack, I only got round to doing the pushback sounds, so it's a little bit more advanced. And I really do like it.
Anti-icing and de-icing completed. Anti-icing code is 1. Disconnecting now, have a good flight.
Brilliant, fantastic.
Grand Lufthansa 759.
clear of the runway. Request
Right, okay, so de-icing is completed now. Again, I'm going to start the engines during pushback, just purely and simply to be a rebel. I'm not sure whether in the real world you would start if the engines, if the wings have been de-iced or anything already, but there we go. We're going to go ahead and do it. It's a simulator. Want to get out of here as soon as we can, so we're going to do a straight pushback. I'm not going to go tail left, because last time I did that, we actually bumped into the aircraft behind us, so...
I'll clear you for engine start when the push is complete and brakes are set.
Right, okay. Tow truck's in motion, and if we just take this time just to have a look at everything to make sure that it's as it should be, which it is. I don't know whether the trim's been set. We might possibly have to do that, actually. So, takeoff ref page. Trim is 5.5.
Good day, sir. Just waiting for some apron traffic while the duck's position. Be pushing back in a couple of minutes. Parking brake on, please.
Okay, the parking brake's already on. That's no problem at all. As I said, the sound pack's fantastic. It's by Nick Kidd, and I will put a link to it. Jetway's off. That's fine.
Lock in the gear.
I like the little radio click that happens before and after as well. They've decided to put that in there and make it sound as realistic as it can be as a voice pack. For those of you who are still wondering, I will be doing the live stream on the 28th of March.
Tuck is in position.
We're going to be here at Frankfurt, believe it or not.
Ready to push. Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released. And we're going to start the engines like rebels. We're not going to listen to GSX.
I'll clear you for engine
Oops.
start. Push is complete and brakes are set.
But yes, the 28th of March will be the day that we go ahead and do a live stream. Everybody that's subscribed to the channel, you should have received a notification about that. It's going to be 2 PM UK time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. You're going to have to go ahead and sort that out in your own way as to deciding what time that is in your area. I have no idea. I'm terrible with time zones. So it's 2 PM Greenwich Mean Time, UK time. That's when we're going to kick off, and we're going to do some plane spotting here at Frankfurt. And as you can see, it's a very busy airport, so that's what we're going to be doing. Some plane spotting with the Ultimate Traffic Live and Pro ATCX. Should be pretty interesting. But nevertheless, we can see the right two engines starting up, engines number 3 and 4. Another aircraft up there in the distance. Absolutely swamped today. Any minute now, I'm going to stop and complete the pushback procedure because I think we can do a sharp turn to the right to get onto the taxiway there, and we should be okay. So let's just stop here. And we can start engines number 2 and number 1 now. They're just spooling up. Yeah, you can see the way that the other Lufthansa aircraft there are parked. And before, if I actually click tail left on GSX, or if I did do that, what would happen is we'd actually end up crashing into one of the aircraft behind us, which is a little bit unrealistic, and it's not something that I really wanted to sort of show on a video. I wanted it to be as professional as I could, so we'll do it this way. So there we go. Stat page now, we can do a quick control check. So full forward, full back, rudder left, and rudder right. And we can do full left on the wing. There we go. And we can go ahead and do full right on the right wing. Like so. That's all okay. That's the control check done.
Left is clear, right is clear. Disconnecting now. Have a good flight.
Just waiting for the engines to fully start up, which they just have, and we'll turn on the 4th hydraulic with the packs as well. And we'll transfer over by turning off the APU very shortly. Flaps can go to 20, and if we come over here, again, I've not set up EasyDock very well, we can see those flaps being deployed
Taxi via Mike Lima to gate Bravo 27. Via Mike Lima to gate Bravo 27.
Down they go.
116.
Slowly does it. Gotta love Frankfurt Airport though. I mean, look at all the ground traffic in the background as well as the aircraft and stuff like that. We're just surrounded by activity and immersion. That's why I love the sim. And the flaps, just when you thought they'd stopped moving, they go a little bit more. There we are. So that's the flaps done. We can switch off the APU now. And we've got no lights showing, so everything looks fine. We can request taxi to the runway.
Lufthansa 630, request taxi.
Lufthansa 630, taxi via November 5 November 3 November to runway 25.
Via November 5 November 3 November to runway 25. Lufthansa 630.
Right, okay, so we're going to make a sharp turn to the right now just to get onto our taxiway. I'm using Electronic Flight Bag by Avlasoft here just to select the taxiways that ATC has just given us so that we know where we're going. Doesn't always work, however, because not every single one of the taxiways is properly mapped. Believe it or not. That's a problem with the FB, it's not a problem with the airport scenery. But we sort of made it. We're on the taxiway now. And here we go. Let's just line up a little bit better on that taxiway. Fantastic. There we go. So yeah, EFB is fantastic. It's a brilliant piece of kit. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn off the shaking effects and stuff like that from EasyDock. I don't really like it when it does it. Sometimes it can overdo it, and it sort of spoils the immersion a little bit, especially when you're on the takeoff roll. But nevertheless, there we go. So a little bit of information about this flight. Again, we are travelling from EDDF Frankfurt over to OMDB, which is Dubai, in the 747-400 with Lufthansa DLH630. And we're going to be travelling approximately 3,206 nautical miles, which is going to take 6 hours and 4 minutes approximately. There's nothing really much else I can say about this flight, apart from this is another longish haul flight that we've done on the channel in the 747, or in a large aircraft. So wish me luck. I'm not going to cut the taxiing to the runway because I really want to get a full view and show off the full view of Frankfurt Airport here. It's absolutely fantastic. You're going to be able to see all of this. We're going to be in the tower when we do the plane spotting live stream. You can ask questions, get to know me, stuff like that. I still haven't got a webcam, so it literally will be a case of chat only. But I'll try and do what I can. We have got a warning just saying the TCAS is off. That's fine. We're going to switch that on once we get a little bit closer. So I'm literally following EFB right now. It's telling me exactly... Whoa, he's a bit too close. Telling me exactly which way to go. It's not really a long distance away from where we were at gate B20, so we should be fine. And I'm hoping my Dubai scenery by Fly Tamper is working properly. I've had to uninstall it and reinstall it a few times, and ever since I've done this fresh installation of P3D and a fresh installation of Microsoft Windows, why I called it Microsoft Windows, I've no idea, and I've forgotten to put on the taxi lights. Brilliant. We'll sort that out. We'll put the logo lights on as well. The reason I've done that is because of the weather and the visibility and stuff. But yeah, that's one thing I forgot. Oops. But nevertheless, yeah, so the Dubai scenery is a little bit messed up at the minute, and I don't know why that is. It's ever since I've reinstalled Windows and reinstalled P3D, but I'm sure I'll find a way to get around. It's probably because I've not downloaded the latest update for it or something.
contact tower on 190.9.
119.9. Lufthansa 630.
Okay, so as you can see, another aircraft in there. Looks like it's coming into land. Up there. And we are going to be taking the full length of the runway today.
25 left, QNH 1017.
I just love how packed this airport really is. It should be really exciting. We're going to be using real world weather, and it's going to be in real time as well when we do the live stream, so that should be interesting. Now I don't actually know where the hold short line is. I think that's it in front. I think it is anyway. I think we might have to stop. In fact, yeah, we're going to have to stop because there is no other one. That's really weird. I think it's because of the angle. I got a bit confused. Yeah, I have gone completely over the line. Fantastic. Nevertheless, we're holding short.
630. Holding short of runway 25.
I think we'll be asked to line up anyway.
630. Line up runway 25.
Yeah, there we go. So we've been asked to line up anyway, so that's a relief. Taxi lights off. Strobe lights on. Again, I've put the logo and wing lights on because we've got very limited visibility. You can see that we've got quite a haze in the background, and it's raining as well, so there we go. We're going to try and use as much of the runway as we can. Another aircraft coming down to land there. Right, okay, we're on the runway.
630, wind 200 at 13, runway 25, cleared for takeoff. Good flight.
And we've been cleared for takeoff. Fantastic.
Cleared for takeoff. Lufthansa 630.
So we've started the clock.
Tower, Lufthansa 959.
Spool up a little bit, and we need to put the transponder on. I forgot to do that as well.
59, cleared to land.
Toga.
25 right, slow to final approach speed. QNH
And I think the aircraft to our right slightly there is an A380. I would turn around and look at it, but we can't afford to do that. But if you can make out what that is, I think it might be an A380. V1 and rotate. Probably didn't need to use the full length of the runway, but I always tend to do that just to be safe. We are in a 747. Goodbye, Frankfurt. See you later. Very limited visibility, as you can see. Whoa! He came out of nowhere. I'm sure that wouldn't have happened in real life. Just try and get control of the aircraft here. We need to be turning slightly to the left. We're not quite wings level. 7:36 AM. Autopilot is activated. And we begin our departure. Turn-offs can come off. Whoops. There we go. And that is it. We're up in the air, we're on our way. And in approximately 6 hours and 4 minutes, we'll be landing. Just look at the visibility. You can see so much. Not. That is ridiculous. Can't believe how foggy we are. Or fogged in we are. Hence the reason the lights, I left the lights on. I think it's just about safe for us to bring up the flaps now. Oops, wrong button there. 150, yeah. Well, at least that served a purpose, because I did forget whether 150 was the correct altitude, so at least it reminded us of that. Set our current heading just to make sure, in case we get any directions from ATC for any reason, we don't need to scramble about with the heading selector there. Apologies about the lack of textures on the engines. That is very weird. Unusually, the right engine seemed to be fine. But there we go. Nevertheless, quite a rapid climb we're making. I don't know why the pressurization's not quite working. I don't think I've set it properly in the FMC, and I don't know which area in the FMC I need to be in to actually select the correct transition altitude. It's not in the pos init page, it's not in the perf init. I don't actually know where it should be, to be honest. But nevertheless, we'll sort that out at a later date. Look at those clouds. Wrecked Skyforce with Active Sky next, or Active Sky. I keep saying Active Sky next. It's all the same to me. It's the same program, just a different compatibility with different sims and what have you. Nevertheless, we'll just set normal pressurization for now instead of going to standard, just to be safe. But that is all she wrote. So basically we're going to be climbing out to 15,000 feet, sorry, 1,500. We were there quite a while ago. But anyways, that is us. We can turn off the wing and logo lights now. And it's time for some cinematics. And I will see you guys when we're a little bit closer to our destination. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so we are a little bit later on in the flight. As you can see, it's now 12:57 and we are literally just under 150 miles away. We're expecting runway 30 right. We've programmed in the star and everything like that, so with a bit of luck we won't have any runway changes. The weather's a little bit variable at the minute, so we are expecting a potential change of runway, but nevertheless this is the approach that we're going to be using. If we just go through it, essentially we follow the runway, we go across the runway, should I say, across the localizer, all the way up, around, and then we intercept right here. So it's a pretty big waste of time, really, but that's what sort of approach they use, so not going to argue with it. We've literally just set ourselves up ready to start the descent anytime soon. And that is it, basically. There's not much else I can say, apart from the fact that this flight, so many things have gone wrong. I'm not going to go into detail, but so many things have gone wrong throughout the duration of this flight so far, both with hardware and with software. So we're going to request to initialize our descent. And we're only really descending by 1,000 feet. We're already at 350 and we've been asked to descend to 340. This is usually something that will happen if you initialize the descent a little bit early. You tend to be descending in tiny increments of about 1,000 feet at a time, and then all of a sudden it'll say 240 as we get a little bit closer, because we're about 100 miles away now, I should imagine, according to the fix rings that we've put round OMDB. You can see on the EFIS there that we are approximately 100 miles away. 240, there we go. And that will gradually change now, so we'll be asked, it'll be 240, then 230, then like possibly 8,000 feet, then 4,000, stuff like that. So the entire descent is not really going to be that exciting, but that's the ins and outs of it, basically. In a moment, we'll start arming things such as the auto brake. We'll put the speed brakes to armed as well. The minimums, I don't know whether this is correct, but we're going to set it anyway. It's what EFB is telling me anyway. That's 283. And that's all she wrote, basically. We're going to go ahead and set auto brake to 2, because we don't really need a powerful auto brake. We're going to be using, by the looks of it, one of the longest runways over at Dubai. That is, of course, unless we have a change of runway, which we are sort of expecting at the moment. But nevertheless, we can see, if we go to the progress page, OMDB, we're going to be there at around 13:37 Zulu. And if we look at the current time, it's currently 13, which is 1 o'clock. So 1:37 is when we should be landing in Dubai. Whether or not that's the case, I have no idea, but I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on, and we'll find out. Okay guys, so we did indeed have a change of runway. Runway 12 right, to be exact, is going to be where we're going to be landing. It's actually a little bit shorter than the other runway, but we should be fine. We're still going to be using auto brake 2. Nothing else has really changed on that approach, apart from the fact that we've had to come back on ourselves. We started on the approach for runway 30 right, and then we had to change, so we've basically lost a little bit of fuel because of that. But that's a good thing about Pro ATCX, it lets you know if there's a runway change and stuff like that, and you do have to do basically what you'd have to do in the real world, which is negotiate around the wind and stuff like that. So flaps 30 at 138 is going to be our final approach speed and configuration. The auto brake's set, the speed brake's armed. We are literally a few minutes away. We've got to go back on ourselves in just a second to the left, and we then should be able to intercept the ILS for the landing after 6 hours, or however long it's been so far. We have got another aircraft over there, and it's a little bit close for my liking. Nevertheless, there's not a great deal we can do about it, so we might as well just forget about it. Quality 5.2, that is the aircraft, that is him. It's a Boeing 747 as well, 400. But we're looking fine. We're currently at flaps 10. The speed restriction was set to 185, so we're having to use flaps 10 just to keep the nose from raising up too high. We seem to be managing fine though. And the next couple of seconds we should start our turn to the left. As you can see, DB414 is the next waypoint. and then DB413, and then we should basically be landing. Unless, of course, we get any sort of like go around or anything like that. I'm hoping not. We've already had a bit of a mess about with the runway change. We don't need a go around as well. But here we go. Loving the water, even though we don't have any water textures installed. Well, we do with Rex, but we don't have any detail enabled or anything like that on the sliders in the sim. I sort of ignore water, really. It's not like a great thing for me. A great deal. But basically, here we go. Another flight in the bag if we can manage to land this thing. 13:45 at the minute is the time. So 1:45 in the afternoon. We're doing alright, to be honest. It's not like a major sort of delay that we've had by having to change runways or anything. And I am actually interested to see what the traffic's going to be like over at Dubai and whether or not the scenery decides to work properly. You can see that's where the localizer is. But yeah, I'm hoping the scenery's working okay. Before we were having a lot of pop-ins and it wasn't really loading properly for some reason. I don't know whether that's because I've not downloaded the latest update for the Dubai scenery from FlyTamper or whether it's not compatible with 4.2. I don't have a clue. Nevertheless, we can deal with that once we come to it. We can arm the localizer now, or VOR lock, and as soon as that's captured we can go ahead and arm the approach hold.
Approach Emirates 517, with you passing 6,200 for 4,000.
Emirates 517, roger, expect ILS, approach runway 12 right, QNH 1010.
Expect ILS, approach runway 12 right, Emirates 517.
We do have an Emirates somewhere around us. Good thing about EFB is that does actually show me the other aircraft that are around as well, so it's a useful piece of kit in terms of traffic and stuff like that. Alright, so we are a little bit closer now. As you can see, Dubai is just on the horizon. We are gear down at the moment. We've been cleared to land. And if we go out of the plane here a little bit, you can see the gear is down. The gorgeous Lufthansa Boeing 747-400 is preparing to land for the first time in over 6 hours. We're at flaps 30, 3,000 feet approximately. Everything's captured almost. We're just waiting for the glide slope to come in fully, but the nose is not actually lifting as high as what I thought it would. Our final approach speed being 140, or 138 actually, but decided to put it to 140 just to be safe. The minimums is wrong. I have no idea where I got that figure from.
Tower, Lufthansa 630, on final, request landing.
Nevertheless,
12 right.
Lufthansa 630, clear to land runway 12 right. Slow to final approach speed. QNH 1010.
Clear to land, runway 12 right.
Excellent, so we've been cleared to land.
Lufthansa 630.
You can see everything's captured now. We should start to descend on the glide. There we go. 138 on the speed. Everything's armed. Flaps are down. Gears down. Lights are on. That's all sorted. So let's do this. We're going to wait while about 1,000 feet as usual. Hopefully we won't have a go around, but you can see both of the runways there in sight. Hopefully the scenery is going to work. 2,500. Look at that. Now that is worthy of thumbnail material. of being thumbnail material. Might have to consider that. The water texture's slightly changed as well, like the colouring of it and the texture of it has slightly changed. I think that's due to the scenery. Nice wing view on both sides. You can see some of the areas here, like the land is not perfect. A little bit blurry, but got a ship over there. Looks like some sort of cruise ship. That is thumbnail material. We're coming up on 1,500 feet now. Or 1,600, should I say. A little bit of a lag spike there, I do apologise. We're all configured. Looking good. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful places, Dubai. Excellent. Yeah, the textures aren't perfect. They are a little bit, like, flickery, I don't know why.
Holding short of runway 12 right, request departure.
Jet Airways 53.
That Jet Airways can wait because I am coming in hot.
Holding our position. Jet Airways.
Can just make him out now. Autopilot, we can go ahead and disconnect. The aircraft is now mine. Let's get this bird on the ground. You can see that Jet Airways there holding short of the runway. And as long as he doesn't move, we'll be okay. RAS there, just telling me we're approaching 12 right. We've got some traffic on the ground as we go over this little highway here. I don't know whether the GPWS is going to work. The ground proximity and warning system that shouts out 50, 40, 30. I don't know whether that's configured on this livery. I think they only have like 100 or 500 or something like that. The rest of it, you just don't hear. Minimums is definitely wrong. There's the Jet Airways holding short. Yeah, definitely wrong is the minimums. There we go. We only get 100, unfortunately. Landing or continuing. And... we are down. There we go. Reverse is a green. This is the shorter runway of the two. I think it is anyway, I might be mistaken. Gate is to the right, so flaps are up, or on the way up. Welcome everybody to Dubai. I'm going to take this rapid exit to the right here. Or exit, it's not really a rapid one. So if we can take this exit here, I'll park up a little bit, do a bit of clean up, and then we can find out which gate we're going to. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to stop the aircraft here. Like so. Start the APU. Sort the lights out. In fact, no, we need the runway turn-offs on, I think, because we're taxiing. And that's about it for now. We'll leave it at that. Going to wait while this transmission's finished and we can request taxi to parking.
Lufthansa 630 is cleared of the runway. Request taxi to parking.
Lufthansa 630, taxi vehicle to Terminal 1, Gate Alpha 9.
Via Kilo Zulu to Terminal 1, Gate Alpha 9, Lufthansa 630.
Terminal 1, Gate Alpha 9. Right, okay, let's find our way there. Right, so in the end we did have to get a follow me. Look at that though, the sunshine just up there over the terminal building. Here we are at gate Alpha 9. We're going to turn our way in. Again, welcome everybody to the one and only OMDB Dubai. After over 6 hours, we finally made it in one piece. We've had an abundance of problems on the way, which I won't go into. I think EasyDock froze about 3 times, and we've had some other issues. But anyway, there we go. Parking brake set. I forgot to switch off the taxi lights and the runway turn off. Fantastic. Why am I forgetting so much lately? Nevertheless, jetway, yep, that's connected, that's working. We can cut the engines now for the first time in a long time, and I know straight away that I've forgotten to transfer the power from the APU. That means that I'm going to have to go ahead now and just connect ground power. I mean, I could connect the APU gen, but nevertheless... External power. Right. Okay. Many mistakes were made in the process of making this video. We're going to request deboarding now. An abundance of mistakes have been made. This is in no way a perfect video. But nevertheless, people, welcome down to Dubai. Hope you enjoyed the video. We've got some amazing... The terminal building is fantastic. I love the effect. We're finally here. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see videos similar to this one in the future, subscribe to the channel. It really does help. If you'd like to donate or become a patron or anything like that for help and support, the links are in the description, as are my social media links. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.